There comes a moment in every seeker's life when they realize that wealth is not something they chase. It is something they align with. It is not a goal outside of them, but a frequency already present within them, waiting to be activated. And the bridge between where you stand today and the version of yourself that effortlessly attracts abundance is built through something deceptively simple. Habits. But not ordinary habits, not routines, schedules, or surface-level disciplines. I'm speaking of quantum habits. Inner patterns of thought, emotion, and vibration that alter your energetic signature so profoundly that your entire life begins to reorganize itself around you. Quantum habits are not formed through force or repetition alone. They are formed through awareness, through intention, through resonance. Earl Nightingale taught that our minds shape our destinies, that the thoughts we hold become the blueprint of our lives. Bob Proctor took this truth deeper, showing that it is not the conscious mind, but the subconscious vibration that determines what we attract. When you combine these two teachings, something extraordinary emerges. A quantum habit is a vibrational pattern repeated enough times that it becomes your identity. And your identity is what magnetizes wealth. To begin this journey, you must first understand a universal principle. Your mind is not a container for thoughts. It is an emitter of frequency. Every belief sends a signal. Every emotion broadcasts a vibration. Every expectation creates a field around you that either draws abundance near or silently repels it. And so, wealth, real, sustained, harmonious wealth, is never a matter of luck or chance. It is a byproduct of alignment, a natural consequence of the energy you embody consistently, not occasionally. This is why people who don't seem to deserve wealth often have it, and why people who desperately desire it often don't. Wealth flows to coherence, not need. It responds to the vibration of certainty, not struggle. It gravitates toward individuals who live in alignment with abundance without trying to force it. Quantum habits create that alignment. You are about to enter a journey of inner reprogramming, not through pressure, but through awakening. Not through discipline alone, but through expansion. You are going to learn to shape your vibration from the inside out so profoundly that money begins to feel like a natural companion, an extension of your energy rather than a distant dream. The first quantum habit is awareness, becoming conscious of the invisible patterns running your life. You cannot transform what you do not see. Much of what sabotages people financially is not what they know, but what they're unaware they are doing vibrationally. Doubt, fear, scarcity, guilt, inherited beliefs, silent expectations of failure. These are not thoughts. They are frequencies, and frequencies manifest realities. When you begin observing yourself without judgment, you reclaim power. You take the first step out of autopilot. You take the first breath as the architect of your inner world. The second quantum habit is mental direction, deliberately choosing the thoughts you permit to grow. Earl Nightingale famously stated that the strangest secret is that we become what we think about. But people misunderstand this. It does not mean you must force positive thoughts. It means you must direct your mental focus toward the frequency you want to embody. Focus is not force. Focus is alignment. The third quantum habit is vibrational congruence, bringing your feelings into harmony with the reality you desire. Bob Proctor taught that the emotion behind a thought is what imprints it into the subconscious. Without emotional resonance, thoughts remain hollow. With emotional resonance, they become magnetic. When you feel wealthy internally, even before evidence appears, you are not pretending. You are tuning. You are adjusting your inner radio to the frequency where wealth already exists. You are shifting into the version of yourself who naturally attracts prosperity. The fourth quantum habit is embodied expectation, allowing abundance to be your default rather than an exception. This is more than hope. It is more than belief. It is an energetic assumption. When you expect good things, opportunities unfold. When you expect expansion, paths open. When you expect money to flow, it finds its way into your life. Expectation is one of the strongest vibrational signals you can emit. It tells the universe what reality you are prepared to receive. The fifth quantum habit is energetic integrity, living in a way that is aligned with who you are becoming rather than who you used to be. Every action you take broadcasts a message about the identity you are embodying. When your actions match your highest vibration, your outer world synchronizes accordingly. This is the beginning of quantum transformation. You are no longer relying on willpower to change your life. You are shifting your inner frequency so deeply that your outer world must follow. This is not magic, it is physics. This is not superstition, it is consciousness. This is not wishful thinking. It is alignment with universal law. And here, in this moment as you breathe and listen, something within you is already awakening. You can feel the resonance of truth vibrating under the surface of your awareness. You can sense the possibility of becoming someone who attracts wealth with ease. Not through strain, not through chasing, but through coherence, through clarity, through vibration. You are stepping into a new relationship with yourself, a new relationship with energy, a new relationship with abundance. And as you do, the quantum habits you will cultivate throughout this journey will begin shaping a new identity. The identity of someone who draws prosperity not through effort, but through vibrational alignment. You are not here to learn how to get money. You are here to remember how to become a magnet for it. And you are ready for this transformation. You can feel it. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video. Your engagement amplifies this message and helps anchor the vibration of consistency and discipline that forms the basis of powerful quantum habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of a life. They do not merely occupy your time, they compose the very frequency you emit. A quantum habit is a habit that changes you at the identity level, not just the behavior level. And when identity shifts, the world shifts in response. If Block 1 planted the seed by clarifying what quantum habits are, here in Block 2 we begin to cultivate those habits with method, tenderness, and precision, so that the subconscious recognizes them, accepts them, and integrates them as part of who you are. This is the real work, to form practices so intimately woven into your daily rhythm that they become the baseline vibration from which opportunities, decisions, and wealth naturally flow. Start with small, consistent acts. The genius of quantum habits is not drama. It is the quiet repetition of small signals that the subconscious cannot ignore. Imagine the mind as a muscle that registers a new pattern each time you repeat it. One repetition is a suggestion. 1,000 repetitions become sculpting. The social sciences and the teachers we honor both point to the same reality. Consistency compounds. Earl Nightingale reminded us that you become what you think about most of the time. Bob Proctor reminded us the subconscious accepts what is repeated with feeling. So when you combine consistent repetition with felt experience, you accelerate identity change. The first practical quantum habit is the morning anchor. The morning anchor is not a long ritual by default. It's a brief, high-quality alignment that signals to your nervous system and to your subconscious mind what kind of day you are tuning into. It can be 3 to 10 minutes long. A breath pattern to settle the nervous system, a clear statement of intention spoken slowly and felt, and an image held in the mind with sensory detail. How abundance would feel on your skin, how clarity would change your posture, how opportunity would speak to you. Practiced each morning, this anchor becomes a broadcast, a sharp, coherent frequency that says, I am someone who expects abundance. Over days, weeks, months, this anchor writes itself into your identity. Next, practice the mental diet. What you consume mentally sets the electromagnetic ecology of your mind. Thoughts, images, words, and stories influence your internal radio. A mental diet means tending carefully to what you allow into your field. Reduce news that breeds scarcity, cut away conversations that rehearse lack, and increase exposure to ideas, biographies, lectures, and experiences that expand your conception of possibility. This is not avoidance, it is curation. You are not ignoring reality. You are choosing the input that most supports becoming the person who naturally attracts wealth. Replace aimless scrolling with polishing your inner state. 10 minutes of focused study of constructive ideas each day rewires attention toward possibility. Third, build a tactical micro-habit for decision clarity. Habits around decision-making are powerful because they conserve willpower and create momentum. Choose a simple rule for decisions that require alignment. Breathe twice, ask, "Does this feel like expansion?" And then act or gently decline. This simple ritual conditions your nervous system to favor clarity over noise. Over time, decisions that once took days will take minutes because your subconscious begins supplying the answer before your conscious mind catches up. This is the advantage of calibrating small rituals. They teach the deeper mind the logic of alignment. Another essential quantum habit is the practice of embodied visualization. Many imagine, but few embody. Embodiment means you bring the sensory reality of the desired outcome into your physiology. When you visualize, feel the warmth in your chest, the ease in your muscles, the sound of congratulations, the texture of a check, the cadence of your breath. Do brief 3 to 5 minute embodiment practices twice a day, once before action and once before sleep. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a vividly felt inner reality and a lived experience. When you embody the future, the subconscious begins scripting avenues to make those feelings possible in your life. Journaling is another quantum habit that organizes attention and clarifies inner narrative. But not any journaling. Intentional journaling that asks precise questions and records small wins. Each morning, write one sentence describing the identity you are inhabiting today. Each night, write 3 concrete wins, however small, and 1 lesson. This habit reorients the brain away from scarcity and toward evidence. The subconscious loves evidence. When it repeatedly finds clues that your new identity is real, it reconfigures priorities, memory traces, and autonomic patterns to support the new default. Design your environment to speak the language of new habits. If your spaces are cluttered, your mind will become cluttered. If your desk is chaotic, so will be your attention. Make small environmental edits that make the aligned choice the easy choice. Put a notebook and pen beside your bed to capture insights. Place a meaningful object that symbolizes abundance, a small token, a written intention, in a location you see daily. Keep your phone in another room during your morning anchor. Environment is the silent ally in habit formation. If you shape the stage, behavior follows. Use habit stacking to cement practices. Attach a new quantum habit to an existing reliable routine. After brushing your teeth, do a 60-second breath pattern and state your main intention for the day. After your morning coffee, spend 4 minutes on a focused visualization. The brain links the new habit to an established neural cue, accelerating integration. James Clear calls this habit stacking. In a quantum context, you're using predictable cues to build predictable identity signals. Practice energetic integrity daily. Align your chosen actions with your declared values. A habit only makes you if it is coherent with how you behave. Saying you intend abundance while acting defensively creates dissonance. The habit of asking, "Is this aligned?" before you respond to offers, emails, or demands is slow at first but becomes a reflexive compass that protects your vibration. Over time, Energetic integrity reduces friction and increases trust between your conscious aims and your subconscious acceptance. Cultivate micro-generosity as a quantum habit. Generosity is not merely money given away. It is an emotional currency that recalibrates the flow. Give small things without expectation, a sincere compliment, a minute of help, a modest donation. Generosity informs the subconscious that abundance is not a finite pie. It is circulating energy. This shifts nervous system architecture away from hoarding and toward flow. Bob Proctor often spoke about the paradox of abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. Make giving habitual and your field will widen. Implement the habit of weekly review. Each week, spend 20-30 minutes reviewing actions, patterns, and outcomes. What moved the needle? What drained you? What signaled alignment? Use this reflective session to adjust micro-habits, add experiments, and celebrate consistent progress. The weekly review is how the subconscious receives feedback and consolidates learning. Without review, habits drift. With it, habits refine into mastery. Adopt rest as a habit. Strategic, non-negotiable rest. Rest is not laziness. It is the repair and integration period where the subconscious weaves experiences into identity. Make sleep hygiene a ritual. Consistent bedtimes, a wind-down routine, and a no-screen buffer. Add short midday resets, 7 minutes of closed-eye breathing or a walk without headphones. These tiny recoveries preserve clarity and emotional bandwidth, which are essential for sustaining high-vibration habits. Use public accountability where it matters. Share a small, time-boxed intention with a trusted person or group, and commit to reporting progress. Accountability turns private habit experiments into social signals that the subconscious takes seriously. Humans evolved in tribes. Announcing an intention is a way to recruit social energy to bolster your change. Keep the commitments small and certain. Overambitious declarations often backfire. Design micro-experiments into your habit building. Try a 7-day mental diet, a 14-day embodiment practice, or a 30-day micro-generosity challenge. Treat each experiment as data, not destiny. You are training the observer within you to notice cause and effect. Patterns reveal themselves only after variation and measurement. The habit of experimentation sharpens intuition and produces reliable refinement. Practice emotional calibration. The simplest method is to use Viktor Frankl's question, reframed into feeling terms. What emotion aligns with this choice? Pause before big decisions and sense whether your body resonates with possibility or contraction. Train yourself to choose expansion. It may not always lead to instant positive outcomes, but it writes a durable script in the subconscious that ultimately arranges conditions to support expansion. Use ritual to anchor transitions. Rituals mark psychological thresholds and cue the brain to shift modes. A pre-work ritual to enter flow, a pre-meeting 5-breath centering, a post-work gratitude practice. These small ceremonies reduce friction and make high-quality states predictable. Rituals are the architecture of the sacred. They teach the nervous system to value certain states and to move into them more readily. Maintain a clear metric system for your habits. Not everything that matters can be counted, but habits require feedback. Choose 3 metrics that matter to your finance vibration. Consistency of alignment practice, days per week. Number of value-focused engagements, calls, emails offering help. And frequency of embodied visualization sessions. Track them simply and review them weekly. Metrics create clarity and reduce second-guessing. Break negative loops by short-circuiting them. The moment you catch scarcity thinking, perform a 2-minute reset. Breath, posture change, and a gratitude trigger. Habitually interrupting negative loops trains the subconscious to expect an exit strategy. The brain learns to default to recovery rather than rumination. Optimize your social field. Habits thrive among supportive influences. Audit your close influences and seek 1 or 2 relationships that reliably model the vibration you want. This does not mean abandoning everyone else. It means cultivating environments where your quantum habits are reflected and amplified. Finally, integrate celebration and gratitude as daily micro-habits. Gratitude is not a platitude. It is a biochemical switch that lifts baseline vibration. Celebrate small wins publicly and privately. The subconscious collects evidence. Over time, these tiny celebrations compound into an identity of success rather than a temporary mood. All these practices form an ecosystem. They are not random hacks, but interlocking habits that prime your nervous system, reprogram your subconscious, and create an identity that magnetizes wealth. As you weave these habits into daily life, you will notice a distinct change. Choices become easier, intuition sharpens, opportunities accelerate, and the very fabric of your experience shifts toward abundance. Carry one final reminder with you. Habits must be kind to the human being who forms them. Treat yourself with compassion during setbacks. The deepest changes we seek often require patience, tender persistence, and a willingness to iterate. The quantum mind is sensitive to pressure. It responds better to consistent, loving repetition than to harsh force. There is a quiet power that begins to awaken inside you when habits shift from being things you do into patterns you are becoming. This is the essence of quantum identity transformation. The realization that every repeated action is not merely a task, but a signal to the universe about who you believe yourself to be. And in this block, we will deepen that transformation, turning the habits from block 2 into something more profound, an internal atmosphere that continually shapes your vibration. Quantum habits work because they modify your baseline state, not your occasional state. Anyone can feel abundant for a moment. Anyone can visualize wealth for 5 minutes. But the person who truly becomes a magnet for abundance is the one whose subconscious begins to live abundance as naturally as breathing. This is why your inner atmosphere matters more than any isolated action. Your inner atmosphere is the emotional climate you carry throughout the day. The tone of your thoughts, the rhythm of your breath, the quality of your posture, the assumptions you make without realizing it. This atmosphere is the signature you broadcast to the universe. You cannot fake it. You cannot pretend. The subconscious reveals your true vibration in the micro-expressions you leave. So let us begin shaping that inner atmosphere with intention. Start with emotional regulation, not suppression, not denial, not forced positivity, but regulation. To attract abundance, you must be grounded. When the nervous system is dysregulated, thoughts scatter, habits break down, and vibration becomes chaotic. Quantum habits require coherence. Coherence requires calm. And calm begins with small habits that stabilize the body. Breathing is your first portal. Deep, coherent breathing signals to the subconscious, I am safe. A safe subconscious becomes an open subconscious, and an open subconscious becomes a receptive subconscious. Receptivity is essential for wealth attraction. Much of the world lives braced against life. Shoulders tight, jaw clenched, breath shallow, emotions compressed. A braced body sends the signal of scarcity, even when the conscious mind says otherwise. So in this journey, begin noticing your physical patterns. Anytime you catch tension, soften. Anytime you catch contraction, breathe. Over weeks, this transforms stress into openness. Now move to your thought atmosphere. Your mind narrates reality constantly. Most people live inside a narrative they did not consciously write. Inherited fears, parental phrases, cultural programming, outdated assumptions about what is possible. A powerful quantum habit is catching these narratives early and replacing them with conscious intention. Not forced affirmations, but chosen narratives. Narratives like, I am capable. Opportunities are unfolding for me. My progress compounds. I am becoming aligned with wealth more each day. My vibration shapes my life. These simple truths, Repeat it gently. Begin to overwrite the subtle pessimisms that once guided your automatic reactions. Earl Nightingale taught that we move in the direction of our dominant thoughts. So your narrative is the compass. A person with a poor narrative will sabotage even strong habits. A person with a powerful narrative will elevate even small steps. Next, expand your emotional range. People who attract wealth easily do not suppress emotion. They alchemize it. There is a profound quantum habit in learning to feel fully without collapsing into the feeling. When fear arises, observe it. When doubt appears, breathe into it. When frustration shows itself, allow it without judgment. This emotional openness prevents stagnation. Feelings that are resisted become energetic blocks. Feelings that are allowed pass through you and free your vibration for alignment. Bob Proctor said many times that energy must flow. Stagnant energy becomes resistance. Flowing energy becomes attraction. Let your emotions flow without attaching identity to them. You are not the fear. You are not the doubt. You are the consciousness witnessing them. And that witness is infinitely powerful. Now let us deepen your sense of identity transformation, the core of quantum habits. Identity is not built through information. It is built through repetition. If you repeat a thought, action, or feeling enough times with intention, the subconscious begins to adopt it as who I am. And once the subconscious accepts a new identity, the outer world must reorganize to match it. So ask yourself softly, who am I becoming? What habits reflect my future self? How would the wealthy, aligned version of me think? How would they breathe? How would they stand? What would they tolerate? What would they decline? What would they expect? What would they assume? What would they feel before taking action? What would they feel after completing something meaningful? These questions tune your subconscious to involvement, not observation. You are not merely learning habits, you are stepping into a new self. The next quantum habit we explore is energetic precision. Energetic precision means living with a subtle awareness of how each action influences your future vibration. Certain actions strengthen you, certain actions drain you, certain conversations expand your imagination, others shrink it. Certain environments nourish your creativity, others dull it. As you become more vibrationally sensitive, you must choose with intention. This is not about perfection. It is about awareness. Awareness leads to refinement. Refinement leads to alignment. Alignment leads to abundance. One of the most transformative habits you can develop is taking actions that match your desired identity even before you fully feel like that identity. This is called identity priming. When you behave like the next version of yourself, you train your subconscious to become that version. When your subconscious becomes that version, reality aligns around you automatically. You cannot wait for confidence to act. Action generates confidence. You cannot wait for clarity to move. Movement generates clarity. You cannot wait for abundance to begin thinking abundantly. Thinking abundantly is what creates abundance. This is the paradox of quantum transformation. The future identity must be lived now in small, consistent, authentic ways. Only then does it crystallize into a stable vibration. Let us now speak about momentum, another quantum principle. Momentum is a habit multiplier. When you take one aligned action, it increases your likelihood of taking the next. When you follow a single micro-routine, it strengthens your identity just enough to inspire the next step. Over time, momentum becomes an energetic force that carries you. People who have momentum appear lucky, but what you are witnessing is the compounding of habits. Momentum is built through honoring small commitments to yourself. When you say you will meditate, and you do, you build trust. When you say you will journal, and you do, you build integrity. When you say you will breathe deeply during stress, and you do, you build resilience. Self-trust is magnetic. The universe responds not to your desires, but to your certainty. Each kept promise is a vote for your future identity. Now, let us turn to the quantum habit of intuitive action. Logic is important. Strategy is valuable. But intuition is the bridge between the subconscious and the field of infinite possibility. The universe speaks in whispers, gut feelings, subtle nudges, gentle pulls towards something. People often ignore these because they seem irrational or inconvenient. But intuition is often the fastest path to abundance because it bypasses conscious limitation. When you learn to listen, your path unfolds with far less resistance. To cultivate intuition, create small daily check-ins. Ask, what feels expansive right now? What feels aligned? What feels interesting? What feels effortless? Intuition speaks through expansion. Fear speaks through contraction. Learn the difference and your decisions will transform dramatically. We must also address the quantum habit of releasing resistance. Resistance is the invisible friction that slows your progress. It might appear as procrastination, overwhelm, self-criticism, perfectionism, or fear of judgment. Resistance is always rooted in a subconscious belief that contradicts your conscious desire. To remove resistance, gently observe it. Name it, question it, replace it. Each time you release resistance, you free a portion of your energy for creation. Finally, integrate the habit of witnessing your evolution. Once a week, sit in stillness and reflect on who you were, who you are, and who you are becoming. This practice creates coherence. It reinforces identity. It deepens alignment. It strengthens vibration. And it reminds you that growth is not something you wish for. It is something you are practicing every day. Your habits are not small. They are energetic codes. They are programming the subconscious. They are shaping your vibration. They are rewriting your identity. And your identity is attracting your future. There is a moment in every transformation when the habits you practice stop feeling like deliberate effort and begin to feel like a natural extension of who you are. This is the crossing point, the subconscious threshold where identity shifts from trying to being. In this block, we deepen that shift fully, because quantum habits only reach their true power when the subconscious accepts them as its new baseline. To continue shaping this evolution, you must understand something profoundly important. Your subconscious is always listening. It listens not only to what you say, but to how you breathe, how you react, how you walk, the tone of your inner voice, the stories you repeat, the expectations you unconsciously hold. Every moment of your life is broadcasting instructions to your inner world. And so your habits are not simply add-ons to your day. They are the training language of your future identity. To master quantum habits, you must learn to speak this inner language fluently. Start with internal dialogue, not the loud thoughts, but the subtle ones, the ones that whisper at the edges of your awareness. Many people sabotage themselves through micro thoughts. Thoughts like, "This always happens to me. I'm not ready yet. Things are difficult for me. Money is unpredictable. I can't trust my ideas." These are not conscious choices. They are inherited scripts. Quantum habits rewrite these scripts. So begin practicing intentional micro-dialogue. Small, simple statements that redirect the subconscious gently but powerfully. When doubt arises, respond with calm expectation. Things work out for me. When I move, the universe responds. My next level is unfolding. Do not shout these affirmations. Whisper them inside your awareness. Soft repetition is often more effective than force because it communicates certainty rather than desperation. The subconscious accepts gentle truth far faster than loud persuasion. Now let us deepen the habit of emotion shaping. Every emotion you feel is a frequency, and every frequency has a consequence. You are not responsible for the emotions that arise. You are responsible for the relationship you form with them. The wealthy mind does not avoid emotions. It metabolizes them. A quantum habit you must adopt is emotional neutrality, the ability to experience emotion without becoming entangled in it. When fear appears, breathe and observe. When frustration appears, soften your body. When doubt appears, acknowledge it without believing it. This habit dissolves resistance and prevents emotional spirals that collapse vibration. Emotional neutrality does not make you detached. It makes you powerful. When emotion cannot control you, vibration can guide you. Next, let us deepen intuitive coherence, one of the most overlooked quantum habits. Intuition is guidance from your higher awareness, the part of you already connected to your future timeline. But many people overwrite intuitive signals with logic, fear, or habit. To strengthen intuition, practice micro-listening. Micro-listening is tuning into the subtle sense of expansion versus contraction behind each choice. Your body always knows the truth before your mind does. When something is right, your chest opens slightly. When something is wrong, it closes. When something aligns with your future, you feel a subtle lift. When it does not, you feel pressure or heaviness. The more you practice micro-listening, the more accurate and immediate this intuitive guidance becomes. And once you live by this guidance, your life begins to reorganize around aligned opportunities. Now, let us explore a deeper layer of identity. Self-concept. Self-concept is the story you believe about who you are in relation to the world. It determines what you think you deserve, what you allow yourself to experience, and what you believe is possible for you. Most people's self-concept was shaped by childhood, society, and survival, not intention. But quantum habits reshape self-concept by providing small but constant evidence that you are evolving. So begin practicing identity forecasting, imagining not only what you desire, but who you must become to receive it. Imagine how your future self thinks, how they move, how they make decisions, how they expect good things, how they treat themselves, how they manage energy, how they speak internally. Bring these qualities into small daily moments. Quantum identity is built through micro-embodiment. Another essential habit is strategic solitude. Intentional time alone to reset your vibration and reconnect with your internal compass. In solitude, noise dissolves. Patterns become visible. Intuition sharpens. Emotional energy settles. You do not need hours. Even 10 minutes daily of quiet, uninterrupted stillness recalibrates your field. Next, deepen the habit of vibrational certainty. Certainty is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the calm, inner knowing that reality responds to who you are becoming. Certainty is built through repetition, evidence, and emotional coherence. To strengthen certainty, practice holding your desired feeling for longer periods without external confirmation. Most people lose vibrational alignment within minutes because there is no immediate proof. But when you can maintain certainty without proof, proof accelerates. Now we must explore the habit of energetic boundaries. Your vibration is precious. Your focus is sacred. Your inner clarity is a resource. Quantum habits cannot flourish in environments or relationships that drain your energy. So begin protecting your field gently but firmly. Decline conversations that spiral into negativity. Limit exposure to people who diminish your vision. Spend less time in environments that create anxiety. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They allow what nourishes you to enter and keep out what destabilizes your vibration. Now, let's speak about momentum once again. But this time, emotional momentum. Emotional momentum is the compounding energy that builds when you maintain elevated emotions consistently. Joy, gratitude, enthusiasm, inspiration. These are not luxuries. They are magnetic forces. People underestimate how much emotional elevation accelerates manifestation. So practice elevating your emotional state intentionally for at least a few minutes each day. Dance, laugh, stretch, breathe deeply, appreciate something small. Elevation is energetic fertilizer. Let us now turn to what may be the most profound quantum habit: embodied worthiness. Worthiness is not a belief. It is an energetic posture. It is the way you sit, breathe, decide, and receive. When you embody worthiness, abundance flows without resistance because you no longer sabotage it with subconscious guilt or self-doubt. Begin practicing worthiness by allowing yourself to receive small good things without dismissing them. Compliments, help, ease, support, opportunities. Allowing tiny blessings trains your system to receive larger ones without contraction. Finally, integrate the habit of remembering who you truly are. You are not simply a mind. You are not simply a personality. You are a field of consciousness shaping reality through intention, emotion, expectation, and vibration. Quantum habits work because they remind the subconscious of this truth repeatedly until it becomes the foundation of your identity. And as your identity shifts, your future shifts. As your perception expands, your opportunities expand. As your vibration stabilizes, your abundance stabilizes. Everything begins within. Everything begins with habit. But these habits are not chores. They are codes. Codes that unlock a new version of your life. A wealthier version. A clearer version. A more aligned, more intuitive, more magnetic version. You begin to realize that wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you allow. And the greatest shift happens when you stop trying to force reality to match your desires, and instead, elevate your inner frequency so reality has no choice but to rise to meet you. This is what both Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor pointed to in their own ways. Nightingale emphasized clarity of purpose. Proctor emphasized vibrational alignment. Together, they reveal a universal law. What you hold within becomes the pattern that shapes what appears around you. Think of your mind as a field, constantly broadcasting a signal. And that signal is not created by what you wish for, but by what you expect, what you habitually feel, and what you consistently imagine to be true. Most people don't attract wealth because they want money. Wanting means lack. They don't attract wealth because they work harder. Hard work without inner alignment only produces exhaustion. They attract wealth when their daily habits become deeply compatible with abundance, when their emotional baseline shifts from fear to openness, when their inner conversations stop arguing against their own potential. A quantum habit is not simply a routine. It is a micro shift in consciousness that compounds into a new identity. And identity is destiny. If you wake up every morning rehearsing limitation, the universe will match you with more situations that confirm it. But if you wake up rehearsing expansion, feeling, imagining, and expecting the next version of yourself, you begin to collapse one reality and activate another. Wealth is always responding to the identity you embody. This is why one of the most powerful quantum habits you can develop is the habit of emotional calibration. Before you take action, before you answer messages, before you step into the day, calibrate your emotional field. Ask yourself, what energy am I bringing into this moment? Most people live in reaction. They let circumstances decide their mood, and then wonder why their lives feel chaotic. But when you decide your inner state deliberately, reality reorganizes itself around that decision. You become predictable to abundance. Another quantum habit is the practice of conscious focus. Most minds are scattered, fragmented by endless stimuli. But a focused mind becomes a magnet. Nightingale said, "We become what we think about." Proctor said, "Hold the image and the universe must respond." When you practice the habit of sustained attention, when you elevate one idea above all others, you open a channel for energy to flow. Wealth is not random, it follows the path of least resistance, and a focused mind is the least resistant mind of all. There is also the quantum habit of identity rehearsal. This is not pretending, it is aligning. Every time you imagine yourself as someone who succeeds effortlessly, you are weaving that identity into your subconscious. The subconscious does not care if something is real. It cares if something is repeated. When you rehearse a new self long enough, the old self has no choice but to dissolve. Your behaviors shift naturally. Your confidence expands. Your intuition sharpens. And wealth begins to locate you because it recognizes you. Then comes the quantum habit of surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is giving space. The mind that forces cannot receive. The mind that fears cannot create. Surrender is the art of trusting your inner alignment more than you trust external appearances. It is choosing to believe that the seed you planted will grow, even when the soil looks silent. It is understanding that the moment you align your frequency, the manifestation begins, even if the world has not yet shown its evidence. This habit dissolves resistance faster than anything else. Another transformative quantum habit is self-dialogue. Not affirmations spoken mechanically, but conscious conversations with yourself that redirect your inner narrative. Ask yourself powerful questions. What would the wealthiest version of me do right now? What would the most intuitive version of me choose today? What energy do I want money to respond to? These questions shift you from unconscious reaction to deliberate creation. They lift you from fear into possibility. They rewire the emotional patterns that shape your destiny. Gratitude, too, becomes a quantum instrument. Not gratitude as a concept, but gratitude as a frequency. When gratitude becomes habitual, you rise above the energy of lack. You stop needing proof before you feel abundance. And in that vibration, you attract opportunities that match your appreciation. Gratitude is a portal. It collapses timelines, accelerates manifestation, and stabilizes the identity of wealth. Most importantly, every quantum habit rewires the subconscious. And the subconscious is the true architect of wealth. Your conscious mind sets the goal, but your subconscious decides whether that goal is possible. And it decides based on repetition, emotion, and identity. So each habit becomes a thread, and together they weave the tapestry of your future. As you integrate these habits, a new version of you begins to emerge. You feel different. You think different. You move different. People notice something about you, but they can't explain it. Opportunities appear in strange ways. Money flows from unexpected places. Timelines shift, delays dissolve, synchronicities multiply. Why? Because you are no longer attracting from the level of fear. You are attracting from the level of embodiment. You are not hoping for wealth. You are matching wealth. And wealth responds instantly to alignment. This is the transformation that Nightingale and Proctor dedicated their lives to teaching. That success is not an event. It is a state of consciousness. And when your consciousness changes, your results cannot stay the same. You begin to understand that transforming your mind into a magnet for wealth is not a matter of luck, nor is it an external strategy. It is an internal rearrangement of consciousness. Wealth starts forming long before it appears physically. It takes shape in the subtle dimensions of thought, expectation, and emotional coherence. And when you reach this understanding, you realize how incredibly powerful you truly are. Because nothing in your outer world has the power to outweigh a deeply aligned inner world. Every wealthy person you admire, every creator, every leader, every visionary, arrived at their level of abundance not through force, but through identity. They learn to think in a way that matches wealth. They learn to feel in a way that makes opportunities gravitate toward them. They learn to move through life with a kind of calm certainty that signals to the universe, I am ready for more. This is not arrogance, it is resonance. It is a vibrational signature that communicates your readiness to receive. And this readiness is shaped by habits. Not random habits, but quantum habits that slowly rewire the quality of your consciousness. A quantum habit is subtle but powerful. It may look small on the surface, but it transforms the energetic code beneath your reality. One such habit is the cultivation of inner stillness. We live in a world that celebrates busyness, noise, urgency, but abundance thrives in clarity, not chaos. Every morning before the world reaches for you, you must reach for yourself. You must anchor your mind in a state of inner order. Even a few minutes of intentional silence can recalibrate your entire vibration. In silence, the subconscious becomes receptive. In silence, you hear the inner voice that Nightingale once described as the quiet engine of destiny. In silence, your emotional field reorganizes itself around coherence rather than confusion. This habit alone can alter the trajectory of your life. Another quantum habit is conscious detachment from the timeline. Most people sabotage their manifestations because they become emotionally addicted to urgency. They want things now, not because they are ready, but because they fear not having them. But urgency is the energy of lack, and lack repels abundance. When you learn to detach from the when, you allow the how to unfold with intelligence. Detachment does not diminish desire. It purifies it. It turns your desire into intention rather than desperation. And intention is magnetic. A powerful quantum habit is the consistent practice of mental rehearsal. This is not fantasy. This is the language of the subconscious. The subconscious responds to images, repetition, emotion, and sensory detail. When you rehearse your financial success, seeing it, feeling it, embodying it, your subconscious begins treating it as familiar instead of foreign. And once something becomes familiar, you stop resisting it. That's when money stops being something you chase and becomes something you naturally attract. Another transformative habit is what Bob Proctor described as raising your internal thermostat. Everyone has a financial thermostat, a level of wealth they subconsciously consider normal. When money begins to rise above that level, most people sabotage it without realizing they're doing it. They overspend, procrastinate, find problems, or attract setbacks that bring them back to their familiar zone. But when you consciously raise your internal standard by studying wealth, being in the presence of abundance, thinking from a higher level, you expand the range of what feels normal, and your outer world adjusts to match it. Then there is the quantum habit of emotional responsibility. You must become the guardian of your emotional field. Every emotion you entertain is a frequency you broadcast. Fear broadcasts scarcity. Doubt broadcasts delay. Impatience broadcasts misalignment. But confidence, gratitude, and self-belief broadcast abundance. When you take responsibility for your emotional patterns, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the architect of outcomes. You begin to live from the inside out instead of the outside in. Another essential habit is the daily expansion of awareness. Study something that elevates your mind every day. Nightingale said that reading for just 30 minutes a day would place a person among the top thinkers of their field within a decade. Proctor insisted that repetition of powerful ideas transforms the subconscious permanently. Both pointed to the same truth. Your mind needs nourishment just as your body does. And when you feed it high-frequency ideas consistently, it begins operating from a higher vibrational baseline. From that baseline, wealth appears naturally. A profound quantum habit is intentional gratitude. Not gratitude for what you have, but gratitude for what is becoming. Gratitude for the unseen. Gratitude for the unfolding. Gratitude for the future arriving in silence. When you develop the habit of thanking the universe before the manifestation arrives, you collapse the gap between desire and fulfillment. Gratitude says, I trust the process. Gratitude says, I believe in the intelligence of life. Gratitude says, I am already aligned with what I seek. This frequency makes you irresistible to abundance. Another habit that transforms your relationship with wealth is the habit of expanded self-permission. So many people subconsciously believe that wealth belongs to someone else, someone smarter, someone luckier, someone more important. But the universe does not reward worthiness based on potential. It responds to the energy of permission. When you begin to speak to yourself as someone who is allowed to prosper, doors open. When you begin to believe that your success helps others succeed, your abundance multiplies. When you begin to permit yourself to receive more, life finds ways to give you more. A crucial quantum habit is conscious identity alignment. Every day ask yourself, what version of me am I rehearsing today? Are you rehearsing the version of you that doubts? The one who hesitates? The one who fears failure? Or are you rehearsing the version that is expanding, trusting, rising into their potential? Identity is the engine of manifestation. When your habits align with the identity you desire, your results must follow. And finally, there is the quantum habit of energetic generosity. This does not mean giving money away randomly. It means giving energy that elevates others. Encouragement, inspiration, gratitude, presence. When you elevate someone else's vibration, you elevate your own, and the universe responds to the energy you circulate. What you give becomes the blueprint for what you receive. When you habitually uplift others, you become a conduit through which abundance flows. All these habits weave together into a single truth. Wealth is not something you earn. It is something you become. It is the natural consequence of a mind trained to think in harmony with abundance. It is the byproduct of a consciousness aligned with possibility. It is the result of daily choices that reshape your identity from the inside out. When you integrate these habits deeply, you begin to notice shifts everywhere. Ideas come faster. Opportunities approach without effort. People who resonate with your new identity appear at the perfect moment. Resources flow in ways you could never have orchestrated manually. Life becomes collaborative rather than combative. And you realize, perhaps for the first time, that reality responds to you, not the other way around. This is the quantum truth that Nightingale and Proctor dedicated their lives to. You are the cause, not the effect. You are the center of your experience. You are the field from which your entire life emerges. And when that field becomes coherent, disciplined, elevated, and aligned, wealth cannot help but flow toward you. There comes a moment in your journey when you realize that wealth is not just a goal, and not even just a vibration. It is a relationship. A relationship between who you believe you are and what you allow yourself to receive. And like all relationships, it flourishes when there is clarity, trust, consistency, and emotional harmony. In this stage of your transformation, you begin to understand that the habits you've cultivated are no longer just practices. They are the architecture of your identity. They are the structural beams that hold together the version of you that wealth recognizes. You start to feel something shift inside you. Not dramatically at first, but subtly. Like the soft turning of a compass needle pointing toward a new direction you had not fully acknowledged before. You notice that you no longer argue with your desires. You no longer shrink from opportunities. You no longer negotiate against your own potential. Instead, you begin to embody a quiet confidence, a centered sense of possibility that feels natural and inevitable. This is the resonance of alignment. This is the vibration of becoming. At this stage, one of the most powerful transformations occurs. Your self-image evolves from a place of survival to a place of creation. So much of your life before this point was lived in response to circumstances, waiting for signs, waiting for certainty, waiting for conditions to change. But now you understand that conditions change because you change. Circumstances shape themselves around the identity you hold consistently. When your identity expands, your world expands with it. This is what Earl Nightingale meant when he spoke of the mindset of the creative. The creative mind does not wait for the world to offer permission. The creative mind acts from intention, from clarity, from an internal vision that is stronger than external noise. Bob Proctor called this the conscious use of imagination. When your imagination becomes disciplined, when it becomes an instrument rather than a distraction, you begin to think from the future instead of merely thinking about it. Thinking from the future collapses time. Thinking from the future makes manifestation accelerated because it removes the emotional distance between desire and embodiment. In this elevated state, your habits take on a new dimension. They are no longer tools, they are reflections of a new identity. For example, the habit of morning stillness becomes more than a ritual. It becomes a homecoming. A return to your essential self before the world imposes its urgency on you. In that silence, you reconnect with the frequency of your future. You align with the intelligence that guides creation. You calibrate your emotional field to possibility rather than reaction. This is how wealthy minds start their day, not by chasing the world, but by meeting themselves first. The habit of mental rehearsal also deepens. You're no longer rehearsing a dream. You are rehearsing a memory that is unfolding. You begin to feel your future not as something distant, but as something familiar. The images in your imagination become clearer. The emotional resonance becomes richer, and your subconscious begins reorganizing your internal patterns to match that version of reality. The more familiar something becomes, the more easily it manifests. One of the most important shifts in this stage is emotional neutrality toward money. You stop loading money with fear, longing, or pressure. You begin to see it as energy, neutral, fluid, responsive to alignment rather than tension. When money stops being an emotional trigger, it becomes a cooperative force. It begins to flow with ease because you are no longer blocking the channels through which it moves. This neutrality is a quantum mastery. It signals to the universe that you have stepped out of the frequency of lack and into the frequency of sufficiency and expansion. Another transformation here is the refinement of your internal dialogue. You stop speaking to yourself as someone who is trying and start speaking to yourself as someone who is becoming. Your words shift from doubt to certainty, from hesitation to clarity, from questioning to commanding. And because the subconscious follows emotion, not logic, your entire internal reality begins obeying these new instructions. This is self-leadership. This is conscious evolution. You also begin to detach from the emotional reactions of old patterns. Situations that once triggered fear or scarcity now look different through your new lens. Instead of panicking, you observe. Instead of reacting, you choose. Instead of collapsing into old stories, you elevate into new identities. This emotional maturity is a hallmark of wealth consciousness. The universe responds quickly to people who respond calmly. Opportunities begin to appear in ways that seem too synchronized to be coincidence. Ideas flow with clarity and timing that feel guided. People enter your life who reflect your new frequency. Mentors, collaborators, clients, supporters. You find yourself in the right place at the right time with an unusual consistency. This is not luck. It is alignment. This is not fate. It is resonance. When your vibration becomes coherent, the world organizes itself around that coherence. A profound realization emerges. You no longer chase wealth. You channel it. You no longer worry about how money will come. You expect it to. You no longer question your ability. You trust your becoming. And this trust transforms everything. It dissolves anxiety. It accelerates results. It stabilizes your inner world so your outer world has a foundation on which to expand. This is what Nightingale taught when he said, "We are all self-made, but only the successful will admit it." He did not mean this in the literal sense of constructing a life piece by piece. He meant that every person's inner world is the blueprint for their outer experience. Every person's habitual thoughts and emotional responses carve the shape of their destiny. Bob Proctor echoed this when he said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you are." And now you are becoming someone wealth naturally gravitates toward. In this elevated state, generosity takes on new meaning. Not generosity of financial giving alone, but generosity of energy, of inspiration, of faith, of encouragement, of presence. When you uplift others, you uplift the field through which your own abundance flows. Generosity becomes a multiplier. It magnifies your vibration and broadcasts your readiness to receive more. And perhaps the most significant transformation of all is the sense of inner calm that begins to permeate your life. You feel less urgency, less pressure, less fear of the unknown. Instead, you move with a sense of grounded certainty, knowing that everything is unfolding with impeccable timing. You trust the intelligence of life. You trust your alignment. You trust your identity. And this trust becomes the foundation upon which wealth is built effortlessly. This is the stage where quantum habits become quantum results, where internal shifts produce external breakthroughs, where the identity you have been rehearsing finally becomes the identity you live. And from that identity, your life expands in ways you once thought were impossible. There is a point in your evolution when everything begins to feel different. Not because your outer world has changed yet, but because you have. Something inside you settles into a new rhythm, a new awareness, a new certainty. You no longer question your path. You embody it. You no longer chase signs. You generate them. You no longer wait for doors to open. You realize you are the one who opens them with your frequency. This is the essence of becoming a true magnet for wealth. It's not about force, it's about coherence, not about effort, about embodiment. At this stage of your journey, the quantum habits you've integrated begin to crystallize into a new foundation of identity. You wake up differently, you think differently, you walk through the world differently. There is an invisible confidence around you, subtle but powerful, like an inner flame that no longer flickers with external winds. This flame is your alignment. It is the steady resonance of a mind that has learned to harmonize with abundance instead of resisting it. You begin to sense a growing separation between who you used to be and who you are now becoming. The old patterns no longer feel comfortable. The old fears no longer feel convincing. The old doubts no longer have authority. It's as if you finally stepped out of a smaller version of yourself and into a larger template that had been waiting for you all along. You begin to feel the truth of what Nightingale meant when he said that the opposite of courage is not cowardice, but conformity. And you have broken free from the gravitational pull of your old self. One of the most profound realizations in this phase is that wealth is not something you must learn to hold. It's something you must learn to allow. When you stop resisting success with old self-images, money flows more naturally. When you stop doubting your worth, opportunities rise to meet you. When you stop shrinking to stay comfortable, the universe expands around your newfound courage. Allowing is an energetic skill, a vibrational openness. It requires trust. It requires self-permission. It requires the willingness to receive without guilt, apology, or fear. You also begin to experience a kind of intuitive intelligence that feels almost supernatural. Ideas arise in perfect timing. Insights arrive with clarity. You feel nudged toward conversations, actions, and decisions that accelerate your path. This intuition is not random. It is the byproduct of coherence. When your mind and emotions synchronize, intuition becomes louder, more reliable, more precise. It becomes your internal compass, guiding you toward the opportunities that align with your identity. Your relationship with time also transforms. You stop feeling behind. You stop rushing. You stop questioning whether things are unfolding fast enough. Instead, you begin to feel in rhythm with your own destiny. You sense that everything is arriving exactly when it should. Not earlier, not later. You begin to trust the pace of your evolution. This trust dissolves anxiety and amplifies creativity. Anxiety constricts the flow of abundance. Trust expands it. Another powerful shift emerges in how you perceive challenges. Instead of interpreting obstacles as signs that things are going wrong, you begin to see them as indicators that something within you is being refined. Challenges no longer trigger fear, they trigger growth. You respond with awareness instead of panic. You adjust instead of collapse. This emotional stability is a hallmark of true wealth consciousness, and it becomes one of your most valuable assets. Because a calm mind is a clear channel, and a clear channel receives more. As your identity solidifies, your energy becomes more influential. People feel it. They may not understand it, but they sense it. You begin attracting individuals whose frequencies match your expansion. People who see possibility rather than limitation. People who think bigger. People who elevate you just by existing. This is one of the most miraculous aspects of vibrational alignment. Your relationships shift to match your new reality. You no longer tolerate environments that drain you. You no longer entertain conversations that shrink you. Your boundaries rise naturally, not out of defense, but out of resonance. At this point, a powerful recognition arises. Wealth is no longer just about money. It is about a state of being. It is about inner spaciousness. It is about emotional clarity. It is about spiritual openness. You begin to feel wealthy before you are wealthy. And this is the exact moment when physical wealth begins to arrive. Because the universe mirrors your internal reality. Not your wishes, not your hopes, not your fantasies, but your embodiment. And embodiment means living your quantum habits without effort. It means being consistent, not because you have discipline, but because it has become natural. You no longer force yourself to focus. You are focused. You no longer push yourself into gratitude. You live in gratitude. You no longer try to visualize abundance. You feel it before the images even form. Your subconscious has crossed the threshold where wealth is no longer a future goal, but a present identity. This is why results accelerate. This is why opportunities multiply. This is why momentum increases. Because once your subconscious accepts a new identity, your outer reality reorganizes itself at a speed that feels almost magical. But it is not magic. It is physics, vibrational physics, quantum alignment. When your frequency stabilizes, your manifestation timeline collapses. In this integrative stage, you also begin to understand your power, not as something loud or aggressive, but as something quietly inevitable. You move through life with a deep sense of, I am becoming who I was always meant to be. You trust your decisions. You trust your desires. You trust your path. You trust the intelligence that governs the unseen. And this trust becomes your wealth magnetism. You start to see money not as a goal, but as a reflection of your consciousness. Money becomes a conversation between your current identity and your future self. It becomes an affirmation of your alignment. It becomes a feedback signal, showing you how much you have allowed yourself to embody the vibration of abundance. At this final stage of the journey, expansion becomes your natural state. You stop settling. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for your potential. You begin to inhabit the fullness of who you are. And from that fullness, you attract everything that resonates with your highest expression. You become a living demonstration of Nightingale's timeless principle. You truly are what you think about. And an embodiment of Proctor's ultimate truth. You attract not what you want, but what you are. You have become the magnet. You have become the source. You have become the field where wealth finds its home.